So in this video I'm going to convert two MicroTrains locomotives to DCC, and I'm going to use the Digitrax decoders, these DN163M0s. They're pretty much drop-in decoders, but I'm going to just go through the steps real quick and show you how to convert these. Alright, so the instructions are fairly straightforward actually. These are kind of like the Atlas, or really any of the standard locomotives. You just remove the shell, and that usually just kind of pops off with a little bit of finagling. Just want to be careful because I don't want to break anything off of the locomotive itself. So this one's really fighting me here. Not sure why. Well, the back end wants to come out, but it's hard to tell, but it's binding up on that coupler there. So I need to see if there's a way I can remove that coupler. Okay. Okay, and the next step is to remove this little light shroud here, and that's pretty easy to do by just popping this tab on one side, popping it on the other side, and it should come right off. Yep. And that comes right off. And then you slide the stock light board forward, and it comes right off. Okay, next thing to do is to remove the decoder from this package here. And they use this Kapton tape to pack it. Now, the Kapton tape underneath is what's needed for insulating the body from the decoder, and it goes right here. But of course it's long, so I use a little razor blade, a little X-Acto knife to trim that up, to get that off of there. You gotta do that on both sides. So now you got that insulating Kapton tape, and it won't interfere with the bottom of the board here. Then the installation is pretty easy. Now, one thing to pay attention to is that these little tabs need to be down inside of this black plastic on both sides so it can make contact with the motor itself. And that's just a matter of dropping this right down into place, making sure those tabs go where they're supposed to. Now on this side I've got a little bit of interference, so I'll just hold that black plastic strip out of the way, and then it should drop right down into place. Just like that. And then it's just a matter of sliding this back till it locks into place, just like that. And you just want to check to make sure that those contacts are making contact with these little brass circles. There's two little brass circles, and again, those contacts have to be in between the black plastic and those brass circles, and that's how it makes contact. And once it's slid all the way back like that, you'll see it just about butts up against there. It's in place and it's done. Okay, and last but not least, don't forget to put the light shroud back on. Otherwise you'll have to take the whole thing back apart when you realize you forgot. I'm not saying I did that. Just saying you don't want to do that. Now we have to put the shell back on, and I don't know if you noticed when I took it apart, the hose, well, the what's supposed to be the hose on the coupler kind of gets in the way, so you kind of have to start at an angle to get it in there and then just slowly rotate it into place. Now this coupler actually got in the way, so I actually have to kind of bend it back a little bit to get it out of the way so I can pop the shell back on. And I just want to be gentle with it. One thing I did notice is that these little windows on the sides, they have some clear acrylic plastic behind them, and they stick out quite a bit, and they seem to be catching on the decoder board as I try to insert this back in here. So I'm trying to gently pry this. There we go, just like that. So now that the decoder board is slit up between those little pieces of acrylic. Alright, so there you go. It's done, ready for programming, and you can see with just a little bit of patience and a little bit of time, you can convert your MicroTrains locomotives over to DCC. We'll see you next time.